So, as our hearts are being nurtured by believing the gospel and our lives are being transformed, part of our obedience, part of the action that we take is rooted in Jesus' last command to us in Matthew 28. And that command is, as you may know, Matthew 28, 16 to 20, is to go into all the world and make disciples of all the nations. The big question is, how do we do that in this day and age? And the beauty of these discipleship bands are they aren't only for our own transformation, but they're also for us to be encouraged and equipped and sent out every time to go into our places of work and play, in our neighborhoods and in our family, and to see where God is working in the lives of our friends and neighbors, to share the gospel with them. On this guide, if you look in the wing, you can see in the section called Make Disciples, there are some simple ideas there that will help you to think about identifying and seeing who God is working, how God is working in different people's lives. And then there's some really simple practices that we encourage one another in as we go out to make disciples. We go together, and that's actually where the discipleship band is a team, a little mission team, as we send one another out. We also go out in prayer, so we encourage one another to pray for our friends and neighbors. We identify people who are open. We enter into our places of work and play with tangible love and just seeing where we can meet needs. We go to share our story and the story of the gospel and how Jesus is working in our lives and sharing that with our neighbors and friends. And then lastly, we have a really simple process called Discovery Bible Study. And our dream, our prayer is that each disciple in one of these bands would begin Discovery Bible Studies with their friends and neighbors, those who God causes to become curious about the gospel. We're excited to see the gospel spread throughout our area in this next season, and these discipleship bands are a great way to become a disciple who learns and knows how to make disciples. The questions we ask and the things we practice in these discipleship bands, we didn't just pull out of the air. We didn't just sort of pick and choose from random scriptures. They are really all rooted in some of the foundational commands of Jesus. So what Jesus lived and what he called us to practice are the things that we want to practice and abide by as we meet together. So Mark 1:15, Jesus says to repent and believe the gospel. This is his very first command. And so in this cycle of discipleship, as our bands meet, that's what we're doing. We're identifying areas of sin in our life. We're turning from it and we're believing the gospel. We're going to discover that in the videos to come. Secondly, Jesus in Matthew 22, he was asked, what is the most important command? He said, from the Torah, he said there were two, to love God and to love people. And this is obedience. This is what we want to practice and to see healthy fruit grow in our lives. And then Jesus' last command in Matthew 28 is to go into all the world and make disciples. And so we want to continually, as we meet, it's a picture, if I could use another metaphor of working out, it's the eating healthy, sit-ups, push-ups, a little cardio in the life cycle of a believer that over days and months and years build to really foster a tree planted by the water that flourishes.